All right. Hey, everybody. This is Cody from IT. Let me stop sharing. Welcome to IT Live episode number 4. As always, if you can't hear me, if you can't see me, if there's anything wrong with the feed, let me know in the chat section so I can fix it. But if you are new with us, welcome. If you've come to us before at IT Live, welcome back. And I want to start something a little bit new today in episode 4. I just want to see kind of who's joining us live. I have the chat box open here next to me. I see we got about 12 people watching live. If you are one of those 12 people, definitely let us know where you're from, what your role is. Are you a TVI? Are you a parent? Are you a screen reader user? Why are you joining us today? So that we can kind of get a little bit of an idea of who's watching, and maybe we can tailor kind of what we're doing today to you guys. And as we start to show stuff in the chat, I will kind of keep going. We'll start the introduction here. So what are we going to do today? Today we are going to, as always, right, in our IT Live episodes, we are always trying to get you a sense of what a screen reader instruction looks like, not at the basic level, at more of the higher level. All right. A lot of times professionals who teach students with visual impairments, parents, and even users themselves are intimidated by screen readers because you just can't wrap your mind around what navigating with a screen reader actually looks like. Like, what does effective navigation with a screen reader look like? And that's what these IT Live episodes are for. As I see some stuff going in, I'm going to try to see if I can read this while my mic is still on. So I'm going to use magnification a little bit. So we got some, what? I don't know if that's hi. Oh, hi. I thought that was Hawaii. I thought it was Hawaii. Laura. Laura's joining us. I'm sorry, Lisa is joining us. She's a TVI. Welcome, Lisa. TVI from Massachusetts, TVI from Ohio. Awesome. From Georgia, welcome everybody. Los Angeles, from New York. Awesome. I love it. From Connecticut. Oh, I'm actually from Connecticut, Philip. I used to actually be serviced by the Board of Education and Services for the Blind up there when I was a high school student. So that's really funny. So welcome everybody. Really great to have you with us. Now that you kind of put everything in the chat, if you do have any questions, please let us know, any comments or anything. But yeah, so what does screen reader instruction actually look like? Or what does screen reader navigation actually look like? And that's why we're starting these IT Live episodes with navigation sequences. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about navigation sequences before, it's pretty much what we do on the internet as sighted users, right? We do the same things on our computers all the time, right? You open up Google Chrome, you do a Google search, you navigate through an unfamiliar website. If you're using a computer for work, you are going to your email, you're doing the same functions every single day. And for our students who are more advanced screen reader users, we want to teach them those navigation sequences, and we want to let them in on that process. And that's what we're going to be going over today. Now, today we're going to be looking at a kind of an academic tool called Newsela. If you are not familiar, you'll see that in a second. But I just want to make sure that I covered everything in our introduction. Yeah, okay, so we're going to be going over navigation sequences. Now, if you are new to IT Live, I do want to show you kind of where we're coming from. Again, this is not the basics. Last time I talked about looking at this as in Braille instruction. This is like the entire contracted Braille textbook that I'm showing you, right? This is not learning contractions. This is not learning our ABCs. This is like showing you what an advanced screen reader user would use, or if you're kind of looking for that next step for your learner, what would you be doing for your instruction? Now, some TVIs, when I say that, get kind of wigged out and they're like, oh, my learner is just beginning. I don't know if I'm ready to see all of this. I disagree. I think it's really, really great to see that big, huge whole picture of what your student could be so that you start to guide them in that direction, right? So even if your learner is just beginning, stick with me here and try to wrap your mind around this content, because it's really important for you to see what an actual screen reader navigation sequence would look like, okay? But let's answer that question. What are those ABCs of screen reader instruction, right? What are those ABCs? So I'm going to share my screen really quick. We're going to get to this document in a second, but what I wanted to show you right now was, let me see if I can find it here, was our 3 methods of internet navigation document. if you have not seen this cheat sheet, this is what we're going to be working off of today. If you're not familiar with IT, we have our 3 methods of basic internet navigation. Method 1, which is tab and shift tab, or we call it navigation by clickable object. Method 2, which is quick keys, and method 3, which is elements lists, right? If you are like, oh my gosh, what is this, right? I want to show you that after this live stream, if you have never seen this document before, I want you to go to our website. That's itvision.com. Here, I'll just go to it just for the sake of consistency, itvision.com. You're going to get to this screen right here. If you are not a member with us, you can create a free account. So you do sign up. And if you are a member, here, I'm going to log in here. If you are a member, actually, you know what? Let me do this. itvision, because I know I'm logged on this one.com. If you are a member here, you're going to see up at the top, you're going to see this. Oh, let me get rid of this guy because I know you can see double of me. Up here at the top, you can see free resources. You're going to click on that. These are all of the free resources that we have available to you. If you scroll down, we have our cheat sheets here. Right now, these cheat sheets are attached to our free course, okay, which is Introduction to Screen Reader Instruction. If you enroll in that course, what you can do is go on, you'll see the mini course right here, Introduction to Screen Reader Instruction. And in the welcome module, all of those cheat sheets that I just showed you, here's our screen reader skills progression. We're going to be going over that, I think, next week. So stay tuned for that. But all of those cheat sheets are right here. There's one for NVDA. There's one for JAWS. There's one for Chromevox. And actually, I'm going to be showing you a new one that we're releasing right now, like today. So that's how you get a hold of one of these cheat sheets. But just if you have not seen this document before, let me show you. What we're going to be doing is, as I go through this navigation sequence today, I'm going to be saying step 1, we're going to do this, and that's going to be a method 1 task. Step 2, you're going to do this, and that's going to be a method 2 task, right? Step 3, this is what we're going to do, and it's going to be a method 3 task, okay? And what you're doing is you should first build off of these 3 methods, teach your learners what method 1 is, what method 2 is, what method 3 is, right? And then when you start to build on these navigation sequences, they already have an organization system where they can put all of these key commands. Now, a lot of people, when they teach screen reader instruction, they just start with the key commands, right? Let me stop sharing for a sec. They just start with the key commands. And they say, step 1, you're going to do this key command. Step 2, you're going to do this key command. Now, why would we not want to do that? Wouldn't that just be easier? I would say no, all right? And I want to tell you why. Because that is just like say like an elementary school student. That's just like giving an elementary school student a bunch of papers and say, go organize that in your backpack, right? If you give an elementary school student 10 papers, even 2 papers, even 1 paper at the beginning of the day, and you don't say, put it in this folder right here, by 2 o'clock, it's going to be gone. You don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be a crumpled ball at the bottom of the backpack, right? It's going to be like wedged in the hinge of the locker, right? It's going to be gone. It's gone, right? The methods of navigation, right? The ABCs that I just showed you with that cheat sheet, that is your organization system. That's the equivalent of saying you're going to have a folder for each class. When you get a new assignment, you're going to put it on the left side. That's the go home side. When you bring it home, like we're creating that thought process, that structure where students can organize all these key commands in their mind. I would say that to access all of this stuff on that cheat sheet, there's probably 20, 30, 40 different key commands that are on that cheat sheet, right? But we've condensed it into 3 things, right? You don't have to learn 40 key commands. You have to learn 3 methods, right? It's just an organization system so that when you give your student a new key command, they can say, okay, got it. Put it in my little folder. That's a method 2 key command. That's a method 3 key command, right? So that they kind of organize it, right? Once they have gotten there, now we have gotten to what we're going to be doing today. Now we can start building these navigation sequences, things that they're going to do every day, right? If you watched IT live episodes in the past, remember last week we did learning management systems. That's a whole navigation sequence that you can build on these methods of navigation, right? Before we did Desmos, right? We did accessible math with Desmos. You can build a navigation sequence into Desmos, right? We did Todoist, getting organized with Todoist. Those are all navigation sequences. That is what advanced screen reader instruction looks like. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, what are we doing today? So now that we've kind of been set up, I do want to just make a really quick shout out about this cheat sheet. Let me share my screen again. Like I said, this this cheat sheet we've had up for a while, the JAWS NVDA, and this summer we came out with the Chromevox version of this cheat sheet. But today, which is really exciting, we actually partnered with my colleague Conchita Hernandez here in Maryland to develop the Spanish version of the cheat sheet. And you can find that all the way at the bottom of our, excuse me, of our free course. Or if you're in our paid courses, that's all the way at the bottom. And it'll say NVDA and Espanol, right? The larger version, I'm going to show you the larger version because I think it's really, really cool. Looks like this. And again, this is translated by my colleague Conchita Hernandez and her organization METAS. So thank you so much, Conchita, if you're watching. We really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started with, oh, awesome. Some more people came in from Oregon. Welcome. From Washington. I love it. Welcome. Really have the entire country here. Nice to see you all. So let's get started with our navigation sequence. Okay. So to begin this, I just want to show you, before we even get into the navigation sequence, I want to show you, let me do this. Oh, my screen share just stopped working. There it is. Okay, cool. Just took a while there. So before we even get into this, I want to show you that application that we're going to be using today. And that application is called Newsela. All right. It looks up here, right? Newsela. You can get there with newsela.com. It will be in the description of this video once I post that description. All right. And if you want to get there, you're going to go to newsela.com. That's the URL. Newsela.com. Let's see if I can spell. Oops, really close. Newsela.com. There we go. Newsela.com. Just a typo there. And you can see I'm already logged in here, but if you are not logged in, you do need a school district account. Now, what Newsela is, and this is a really great resource for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you're using our screen reader progression, that list of standards that we've developed, if you're still on the phase 1 reading tab with your learner, this is a really great resource for articles. And the beautiful thing about this, let's search for some Thanksgiving articles, and I'll show you this with a screen reader in a second. Is let's say we choose this article right here. You can adjust this reading level to your learner's Lexile level. So that means that right now we're at max. If they're struggling to read some of these words, we can bring it down. It's the exact same article, but at a lower reading level. So that's really, really helpful. Right now it's at 5. Let's see if I bring it up to max, what happens? It's at grade 12. So it's a really, really intense difference, okay? Really great for learning media assessments if you do that in your job, to get articles at your learner's reading level or below your learner's reading level, really flexible tool. But let's say that your learners are using this for school. Let's say your learner's English teacher is assigning them articles with Newsela, okay? Before we even get there, what I'm going to show you is just the sequence visually first, so you can wrap your head around what we're doing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that we are going to go to Newsela, and I want to get to sign in, all right? Right, so let me show you this so that I don't have to sign out and sign back in. We open a guest tab. So I'm going to go to newsela.com. Hopefully I can spell it this time. Newsela.com. Awesome. And then I want to get to the sign in button at the top right. All right. I'm going to show you this with a screen reader in a second. Okay. Once I get signed in, I'm going to go to the search button. All right. If you know me, that you know that the reason why I'm saying button is very intentional. I'm going to search for something. Let's say I want to search for technology, right? And then I want to scroll through my articles and pick one that I want to read. Let's say that that's the task, to search for sign in, search for an article, pick an article to read, and then kind of just, run through those headings and skim those headings, okay? It's really important that before you begin teaching that type of navigation sequence, that you as the teacher go through that sequence yourself. And the reason is I'm going to show you that in a second, actually. All right. So like I said, here's our navigation sequence. I already typed it out. All right. And we'll kind of go through the details of this navigation sequence in a second, but you can see the first step I said, find sign in button, right? We did that, find the sign in button. The second step, what did we do? Find the search button, right? Again, using those element names very intentionally. So find the search button, right? Third, we're going to type our search. 4, we're going to scroll through the article links, right? Very intentional. And then 5, we are going to skim through article headings, right? So we're going to go through, so we're going to go to technology. We're going to skim through the article links, right? And then we are going to skim through the article headings, all right? So we understand our sequence, right? It is written out, okay? Now, for a learner just beginning to understand navigation sequences, I will type this out for them, okay? I will type this out for them. But what is interesting is if those of you who can see my screen will see that after each step, what did I do? I tagged it a method, right? So if we go back to our cheat sheets, if we go back to our methods of navigation, you say find sign in button. I'm going to be using method 1 for that, navigation by clickable object, right? Find search button. I'm going to be using method 3 for that, elements list, right? I'm going to type my search, which is just typing. We don't need a method for that. Then I'm going to scroll through the article links. I'm going to be using method 2. And then I'm going to skim through the article headings. I'm going to be using, again, method 2. And I'm going to show you that with a screen reader, okay? So this is what an actual navigation sequence, something completed, looks like, all right? So I'm just going to take my hand off my mouse. At this point, I'm going to be using a screen reader. Let's use JAWS today. Why not? Except if I typed it right. It's not HAWS, it's JAWS. There we go. Man, something is wrong with my typing today, huh? All right, awesome. So we're in our navigation sequence document. I just had to switch my program focus because as you guys know, when you turn on a screen reader, sometimes the program focus gets a little wonky, right? And I'm going to switch over to my Newsela tab. Actually, I'm going to switch over to my guest tab so I can show you sign in. So first step, sign in. What am I using? Method 1. Okay. If you don't remember, method 1 is tab and shift tabs, navigation by clickable object. Let's see if I can find that sign in button. Method 1. All right, I'm going to do sign in. I'm going to assume that I'm signed in, right? Because I already am. All right, so sign in, method 1, done, right? I use tab and shift tab. Method 3, we're going to find the search button with method 3. Oop, I need to go back a couple to make this actually realistic. All right, so I'm going to find the search button with method 3. If you know about method 3, this is elements lists. If you don't know about our methods of navigation or you want more information about that, we have courses on our website, itvision.com, that go over each method, all right? Again, if you guys have any questions about any of this, put it in the chat box. Excuse me. I'm getting kind of a cold. I'm just kind of getting over a cold. All right. So method 3, we're going to find search. All right. This is elements list. So if you, I'm going to use JAWS key plus F3 to get to our main elements list. Go to buttons list because remember it's the search button. And then of course, initial letter navigation because it's method 3. All right. Now I found the search button. Step 3, what am I going to do? Type in our search. So I'm going to type in technology. All right. Ah, thank you. Shelly, thank you so much. Should we be able to hear your screen reader? Absolutely, you should. And I bet you don't. Let me try this again, huh?
Share screen button.
All right. Let me know if that's better. Are you guys able to hear my screen reader? All right. There's a little bit of a delay, so let me know in the chat box, but I'm going to keep going. Okay. So let me try that again. I'll start from method 1. All right. Thank you so much, Shelly. All right. So let's start from method 1.
Leaving menus. Newsela vertical bar sign. Menu.
So again, Step one,
Open company drop down.
we're going to be using method 1. Okay. So it's tab and shift tab. I'm going to be tabbing to that sign in button, method 1.
Distance learning.
Awesome. Thank you, Krista.
Contact. Leaving menus. Join now link.
No problem, Shelly.
Sign in link.
All right. There's my sign in link. I'm going to press enter.
Enter. Newsela vertical.
Of course, I'm already signed in. I'm going to switch back over to my signed in account.
Meeting controls. Newsela vertical bar instruct.
And just to remind you, step 2, we're going to be looking for that search button, right? If you already know, search button is really important. In my navigation sequence, we're using method 3, right? I already said, let's see.
Space. All. No more elements of same type. Space. Speech on demand.
So in my navigation sequence, remember search button, we're going to be using method 3, right?
Full speech.
So I'm going to be using buttons list. Let's do 1, 2, 3.
Virtual HTML features dialog.
Because remember, it's the search button. I'm going to press B.
B. Block quotes list.
That's not it.
B. Buttons list.
Absolutely.
Enter.
And of course, initial letter navigation, first letter navigation, it's the search button. So I'm going to press S.
S. Search button. Enter. Enter.
All right. Now I can type in technology, right?
T. C. L. Y. Enter. Tab.
Awesome. All right. What's our next
Space.
step?
Speech on demand.
Let's see. Well, we typed our search. We now need to scroll through our article links, right? And we're going to be using method 2, quick keys for that, right? So our method links, obviously I have not visited these before, so they're going to be unvisited. This is you. I know I'm going really fast. If you do want more information about our methods of internet navigation, visit our website, okay? But I'm going to be using method 2, quick keys.
Full speech.
And they're going to be unvisited links. So let's scroll through.
U.
Oh.
Escape.
If you get to that point, if you press a quick key and it does not work, escape will get you right into the back into the right mode. We're going to have a course coming out with that, I think, next fall, about advanced screen reader concepts like modes and tables and all that stuff. So
link article dash technology and the atmosphere article dash.
That sounds interesting. I'm going to keep going.
Link article dash teen inventor wins awards for technology that could save kids apostrophe lives article dash.
Oh, that sounds interesting too. I'm going to keep going though.
Link article dash how technology changes lives article dash.
Oh, I like that. How technology changes lives. That's kind of like the field we're in, isn't it?
Enter.
I'm going to press enter on that.
Enter. Newsela search technology.
Strange. Didn't work. Let's try it.
Same
again.
page links, link assignments. Link article dash teen inventor wins awards for link article dash how technology changes lives article dash. Article region. Article dash how technology changes lives article dash link.
There it is.
Enter. Newsela.
Just to let you know, it wasn't saying link at the end. All right. So when I was pressing enter, for some reason, the screen reader did not see the link. All right. I was clued into that. And this is kind of a problem solving thing. I was clued into that it didn't see the link because it didn't say the word link at the end. It just said article dash, and it should say article dash link, right? It didn't say that. So all I did was I just did tab once, shift tab once. It said article dash, blah, 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 link. And I'm like, okay, there it is. Enter. Okay. Just a little bit of a troubleshooting thing there. Okay. That did not happen this morning. I don't know why. It was just sometimes just a little bit glitchy. Right. All right. So we are on our article.
Space. Speech on demand.
Let's see what our next step is. We're going to skim through our article headings, right? This is really important to teach your learners if you are at a new article or a new website to be able to run through the headings to get a sense of what the article is about, what that web page is about, what the article is about. Let's see if there's any headings on this article, okay?
Full speech.
What method are we using for this? Method 2, all right? Method 2.
No headings.
No headings, that's not true.
Escape.
Okay, so I have my screen reader has stopped speaking to me. This is what you do. You switch your program focus around, you press escape a couple of times.
Escape. JAWS Home Annual. Newsela dash how technology change. No headings.
No headings.
No headings. Off. On. No headings.
At this point, I would just refresh.
Control R. Newsela vertical bar how.
Let's see what happens here.
Main region. Photo heading level 2.
There we go. Switch your program focus, press escape, refresh. Last resort is to turn that screen reader on and off. Okay. If you have any issues, just like I just had, where something is not reading as it should, where you don't hear any speech, where if you press tab, like you just don't hear anything, program focus, refresh, escape, turn the screen reader on and off. Okay. That's just, and you'll find that actually in the cheat sheet as well, as you'll find all those troubleshooting tips on the right-hand side. I'll show you this actually right now. On this, this is the Spanish version. Let's go to the, on this right-hand side under troubleshooting, there's this table. It says, if you get lost, if JAWS stops speaking, all of those things that I just said are kind of in that table. All right. Just find the right, find what the issue is, and it should give you some tips on how to fix that. That's another thing with this cheat sheet that's really cool.
Menu, leaving menus.
All right, so now we are going to be going through our article headings with method 2, right? So I'm going to use H.
How technology changes lives, heading level 1.
That's the heading level 1, so it's the top of the page, is the first heading in the page, right?
Electricity, heading level 2.
Okay, cool.
Telephones, heading level 2. Related, heading level 3.
All right, so now I know, okay, we're going to be listening about reading about how technology changes lives. There's a section on electricity. There's a section on telephones.
Telephones, electricity, heading, how technology changes.
Right. So now our learner, and I can just shift H, quick keys all the way back up. I'm like, okay, now if this is a class where this article is about to be read as a class, I am ready to go. I know what this article is about. I'm already there. And as your learner starts to get this sequence down, if they're doing this every day, if Newsela is a common tool that they're using, you can see how it's going to be boom, 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 right? I'm just going to show you how quick this is. If you have it in your mind with the methods, I'm just going to run through this one more time to show you how quick this is, okay?
Tab.
So I'm going to go through
Article.
Let's say I'm already signed in, right? What do I need to do? Find the search button. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go method 3.
Caps lock on.
Oops.
Caps lock off.
Kinda.
Newsela vertical. Virtual HTML features dialog.
Buttons list.
Enter.
Search
S.
button.
Enter. Enter.
Technology.
Banner region. C. L. Y. Enter.
All right. Now I'm going to run through my my links, my articles with links.
U.
Oh, let me press escape to get into the right mode.
Escape. Link article dash technology and the atmosphere are link article dash teen inventor wins awards for technology that could save kids apostrophe lives article dash.
Weird that it didn't say link, so I'm just going to do tab.
Article dash teen inventor wins awards for technology that could save kids apostrophe lives article dash link.
There it is.
Enter.
Weird glitch.
Main region. Teen inventor wins awards for.
All right, now I'm on this article. Let me run through my headings.
Health, heading level 2. Teen inventor wins awards for technology that could save. Related, heading level 3.
All right. So you kind of get an idea of how powerful these sequences are. If you get them into your head, if I'm like, okay, I'm going to use method 1, then method 3, you're going to do method 2 for that, and then method 2 to find headings. It's very easy to just zip through a navigation sequence like this. Now, is it going to be, are your kids or you going to be able to do it as fast as I did it? Maybe not, especially not at first, right? But practicing in this way where you have everything compartmentalized and you have everything organized in your brain, it makes it so much easier, right? I have many students and teachers here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I have many students and teachers come to me and say, how do I memorize all these key commands? You don't have to memorize them all. You just have to memorize 3 methods, right? Method 1, method 2, method 3. Now, if you are lost, as I was going through, as I was zipping through, definitely make sure you know those methods. Method 1, tab and shift tab. Method 2, quick keys. Method 3, elements list. Again, if you don't, download the cheat sheets. Take a look at our free introduction course. That'll get you started on those basic fundamentals, right? Please let me know if you have any questions. Throw them in the chat box as we keep going, okay? What I'm going to do now is we are going to kind of analyze a new navigation sequence. Very similar with YouTube, but instead, this time we are going to talk about how we let our learner in on helping us to create that navigation sequence, right? And this is kind of like the next step, the next level. If you're currently in our basic internet navigation course, so if you don't know, we have open enrollment periods each semester. We have courses open to the public. to take really in-depth courses into screen reader instruction. The one that right now we're doing in this semester, it's called Basic Internet Navigation with Screen Readers. And that's where we're teaching you step by step how to teach and how to use method 1, how to use method 2, and how to use method 3. And then at the end of that course, we talk about why you might use each method, right? So why would you use method 1 over method 2? Why would you use method 2 over method 3, right? And that's kind of the part that I kind of left a mystery today. And I want to kind of make sure that that's not as much of a mystery. If you're in that course, you know that we have a little mantras or questions that you can ask yourself that kind of lead you in that right direction. I'm going to show you that now. This is a really fun activity to do. Everybody loves YouTube, right? Including myself. I am quite a YouTube addict. My friends know. Oh, I got. Yes, I love it. Susan Cantos asked, if a student is going to a new website and you don't know how the web page, or they don't know how the web page is developed, what do you tell the student? That's a really great question, Susan. And it's a really hard question to answer because it depends on the effectiveness or the advanced, how advanced your learner is. Let me hold on to that for a second, because I think what we're about to do is going to answer that a little bit for you. Really, and actually, let me answer your question, and that will bring us into our next activity. Susan, if my learner is just grasping, just trying to grasp those fundamentals, what I'll do for them is let me just make sure that JAWS is turned off before I start sharing again. What I'll do for them is I will do exactly like I did for you guys, where I create the navigation sequence for them. Okay, so I write out a document just like this, and I say to them, I'll go beforehand, try to figure out how that website is developed and write out that navigation sequence. Now, of course, Susan, that's not going to be every website, right? But that's just in those really intentional sessions where you're like, I'm going to teach a screen reader this period, and I know my student always goes to this website. Let me write out this navigation sequence for them and include that method 1, method 2, and method 3 if they know it. Okay. That's if my learner is just beginning. Now, for my learners that are more advanced, what I did for YouTube is I actually wrote out this navigation sequence here, but I'm going to walk you through now what you would do for a learner that is more advanced that might be able to help you, assist you, or even create their own navigation sequence. Okay. And we're going to do that with YouTube now. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Susan, if it doesn't answer your question by the end, definitely type it in the chat. Make sure that you ask for clarification, because then I can clarify that if I leave anything out. Okay. So let's start with YouTube. Hopefully there's nothing embarrassing on my timeline on YouTube. We'll see though. Oh, look, this is on my YouTube channel is this live stream. That's funny. That makes sense. Okay, let me just back up a little bit so we can go over how to get to YouTube, how to do a Google search.
JAWS for Windows. Welcome vertical bar.
Again, I had to switch my program focus because I always did. And let me make sure that I'm sharing my computer sound. I am.
Share screen button.
All right, so now let's get to YouTube. So I typed in YouTube in my URL. If you don't know, now we're on our search results page. The way to get to YouTube very fast, you can use method 1. Just press tab once.
Mute. Currently unmuted.
No, I'm in the wrong program focus. Let me switch my program focus.
Task switching. YouTube-Google search-Google Chrome.
Hey, Danny Salami's joining us.
To move to an item, press the...
From Baltimore, my neck of the woods. Okay, so if you don't know, we're going to be doing tab.
YouTube-Google search. Link skip to main content.
Once you hear that skip to main content, you could just press enter. It'll bring you right to the first search result. Enter.
Enter. Main region. YouTube. YouTube.com heading. Enter.
Press enter.
Okay?
So this navigation sequence, what I want to do is I want to be able to get to our top search bar, right? I want to type something in, and then I want to scroll through the videos that it brings me to. Okay, that's it. That's the task. All right. Now, of course, I typed out this navigation sequence. If you caught a glimpse of it before, don't think about it. All right. I just wanted to make sure I knew the navigation sequence. But let's walk through what you might say to a student who is actually, like Susan says, if they are an advanced screen reader user and they are ready to start helping you come up with this navigation sequence, right? So What I would start to say is, I would say the point of this is going to be, number one, what step are you going to use? Right? So our first step, what are we going to be doing? Our first step. And then what method are you going to use to get there? This requires your student to know very much so the methods of internet navigation, this process. So what I would say is, okay, we want to search for a video. All right. Susan, what I would do is I would say, my students that I work with commonly know how regular websites are set up, right? We always talk about how there's always a top bar, there's usually a sidebar, there's usually a search box somewhere, and they know that what types of elements are in those different sections. So if I said to a student, okay, all right, so we're trying to search for a video. What do you think we're trying to find? Hopefully the student, we can get them to say, oh, we're looking for a search box. Okay, so now what type of element would a search box be? All right, the correct answer there is an edit field, right? And how do we effectively get to an edit field? We would probably use method 2. Now, why would we use method 2? That's something that we kind of cover more in depth in our courses. Why would we choose method 2? Well, because method 1 is for stuff that's close by. Method 2 is for if we're on an unfamiliar website, and method 3 is if we know exactly what we're looking for. Very surface level. That's the reasons we choose each method. For this instance, I'll show you how we walk through that. But if you're not familiar with those mantras, definitely check out our website. Okay. So I'm going to be using method 2 here. So I'm going to press E.
Search edit.
Look at that. First time I press E, I'm right there. If you're a regular JAWS user, you know you have to force it now into edit mode. I'm going to press enter to do that.
Enter.
All right. Now, let's say I've been listening to like jazz Christmas music in the background, right? Because why not? We're all working from home, at least on the East Coast in Baltimore. I'm working from home all the time, and it's kind of like miserable, like sitting here alone in my apartment with no like people around. So I'm like, all right, let's listen to some jazz Christmas music. As you can see, it's in my feed. So I'm going to type in jazz Christmas.
J Z space S S U C. Enter. Left paren.
All right, so now I'm in jazz Christmas music, just like a Google search. We are now in the search results page. We now have a list of videos. Excuse me. We now have a list of videos that we can scroll through in order to find a video that we might want to listen to. Okay. Now, how do we scroll through our videos? Well, if your learner is familiar with the navigation sequence on how to do a Google search, I hope that they would say that we're going to use method 2 and scroll by headings. Why? Because headings are titles, and each video's title is a heading, right? So we are going to do headings, method 2.
Jazz playlist dash free jazz music heading level 3. YouTube music subscription dash listen to jazz music ad dash free heading level 3.
It's an ad, right?
Stream relaxing jazz music dash chill background music heading level 3. Good mood Christmas jazz dash relax Christmas slow jazz music dash enter. Good mood.
So I've been doing a lot of video conferencing recently, and by far the biggest problem I've had is lighting. So I decided to invest in my video call
photo image.
So after searching online and reading some reviews, I landed on this
share
setup,
button
and it's
menu.
honestly blown me away. So let me show you how this thing works. So right off the bat, nothing complex here. It only comes with 3 pieces.
Photo image.
We'll start with the light. So there's only one button and an adjustment dial.
Left paren 3 right paren good mood space. Main region.
By the way, that's the most annoying part.
Complementary region.
Is that sometimes you can get to that skip ad link very, very quickly, right? All I do usually is I just press tab a couple of times, I can find it, right? It's really, really hard for students when there's a screen reader talking, when there's a video talking, and you can't find it. And what I just did, because I'm in a live, if I was with a student, we would like sit and figure it out, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I just use my mouse. So I cheated a little bit, sorry. But you can see how that decision-making process goes, at least for finding the edit field, scrolling through videos. And it is really, really important. I'm laughing at Corey's comment. Christmas jazz music while doing yoga, of course. Absolutely. That's definitely my lifestyle. But yeah, it's really, really important to let your students in on that process of making a navigation sequence, especially as to Susan's point, it is very difficult because each website is developed a little bit differently. It's part of our job to interpret and translate that for our learners. Let me stop sharing. For our learners who are just beginning that process, but it's also our job to help our students get to a point of independence in that, right? To be able to sit down at a computer, in front of an unfamiliar website, in front of a piece of unfamiliar software. And without us there, hopefully in a couple of years, right, when they're adults, when they're off in college or at a job, to be able to do this without us, all right? I do want to stress that everything that I do in these IT Live videos, really, at least in the first couple of ones, we're going to kind of expand as we keep doing this. But in the first couple of IT Live episodes, I really, really want to stress how important and how much hinges on those 3 methods of internet navigation. I'm going to turn off JAWS and share one more time. If you do have any more questions, please put it in the chat. This is definitely the time as we're starting to wrap up. But I do want to share one more time to show you again where to find this information. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to, you're going to go to itvision.com. That's EYETVISION.com. If you don't have an account with us, I want you to make one. Okay. It is free. There's no commitment, and you'll get updates every time that we go live, every time that there's new courses available. Yeah, all that good stuff. All right. Once you make an account, you'll have this little link up at the top. It says free resources. This page, we try to update as much as we possibly can to include things that we either see, and everything is on this page is free for you to use. All right. That means that we have our free mini course here, the one that is totally free to use. That's where you get all your cheat sheets. Obviously, we have the playlist for our live streams, which this video will be in there. We have our cheat sheets that you can sign up with the course and use. We have an assignments request form if you are an itinerant TVI. And then, of course, we have free videos, free YouTube videos that we've compiled over the past couple of months. All right. I really want to focus on these cheat sheets, though. All right. You can enroll in our free course to get access to these cheat sheets. I'm going to show you that course now. All right. You just go to the welcome, you go to my courses. Once you enroll, go to mini course, introduction to screen reader instruction, and then go to welcome. All right. Next week, we are going to focus on the screen reader skills progression, which is really cool. But so come back next week to talk about these standards that we've created and what we're doing new this year or this semester. But if you scroll all the way down here, NVDA, we have JAWS, we have ChromeVox, and of course today, thank you to Conchita Hernandez for translating our NVDA cheat sheet in Spanish. So thank you so much, Conchita, and thank you so much to METAS for that. And that's new today. So please go there and download it as soon as you can. But really, all of these are very similar. So you can see each one has method 1, method 2, method 3. They all talk about the NVDA key command, NVDA key, or the JAWS key, or the ChromeVox key. They all have the troubleshooting table, and that's for a reason, so that you guys can start making this organization system for your learners, so that eventually you can start to do these navigation sequences like the one we did here today. All right. But it really all stems from your learners understanding those methods of internet navigation. Let me show you this one more time. So if this is our JAWS cheat sheet, right? So let's run through just what we did today. What did we do today? To get to the sign in button, we used method 1. If you forgot what method 1 is, you could go to method 1. Oh, it's tab. Okay. Then what did we do? Oh, we went through the links of the articles that we wanted to look through, right? So we went through those technology articles, right? Remember, they were unvisited links. If you don't remember how to get to unvisited links with method 2, you go down here, next unvisited link, boom, right? That's the key command I used. Remember, we needed to get to the search button. I was using JAWS. To get to all elements list, we get to JAWS key F3. And to get through them, you use initial letter navigation. B to find buttons list, S to find search button, right? So really, I know it looks like I'm really zippy through this, but the only reason why I'm so zippy is because this method 1, method 2, and method 3 is organized in my brain. And all I have to do is think, oh, this is a method 3 step. Okay. I'm using JAWS. All right, I know which key command to use, right? Because it's in a little file cabinet system in my brain. This is what screen reader instruction, really effective screen reader instruction, really looks like. Again, if you do want more resources, everything is on our website. Everything on this video will be in the chat after we stop going live. We write a description. We put a nice little thumbnail, so there'll be more information in the description. Kind of last call. If you do have any questions, throw them in the chat now. Otherwise, we do this live stream every week, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each week, we cover a new topic or a new a new app. So like today we were focused on Newsela, but really focused on navigation sequences, right? Last week we did Google Classroom. And then I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after, we will be going through that screen reader progression document and talking about what specifically should you teach when you're looking at doing JAWS or NVDA or Chromevox instruction. If that's something you're interested in, definitely stop by and ask some questions, get involved. If you ever miss these, right? If you ever are like, oh, I forgot to come to IT Live Tuesdays at 3, excuse me. They're all recorded. They're all on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. If you hit that bell and say all notifications, you'll be notified anytime we go live, anytime we upload a new video. For those of you who showed up today and for those of you watching this recorded, I really thank you all for making this a priority in your students' education. It's really, really important stuff, computer literacy in this day and age, especially we see it full force, right, with this pandemic. And I just really am appreciative that I have such great colleagues as you guys to make sure that all of our students really get educated in the best way possible. I have one more comment. Let's see. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nolan. I really appreciate it. I hope you join us again. All right. For everybody else, thank you so much for coming. And I really appreciate you all. And I hope to see you next week, Tuesday at